It is always a pleasure to be joined by JP Morosi. JP, as always, thank you for taking the time on this Tuesday morning, my friend. I'm going to start with the NL MVP race. Right now, who's your pick?
Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is my pick, Alanna, and I'm going to explain why. Remember the way that the award is written to all of us who vote on it for the Baseball Writers Association of America. The value of the player to his team, not just the sheer performance. I think in many ways, the sheer performance edge goes to Acuna because of that very unique stolen base home run combo. But remember, Alanna, what Mookie means to the Los Angeles Dodgers. What you just saw on your screen a moment ago, going into the hole to make a great play at second base. When he plays second base against especially a right-handed starting pitcher, it allows Dave Roberts to have an all left-handed hitting outfield. The value of the player to his team. It's not just Mookie's performance. It's the way that his versatility allows Dave Roberts to get the most out of the rest of the roster. That's how I see it as a voter. Many may disagree. They just say, listen, vote on the sheer performance, and that's fine. Everybody who has a vote has their own way of looking at it. But for me, when I look at the way that Mookie Betts' versatility changes and augments the entire performance of the club, my vote for MVP is Mookie Betts.
And the fact that he can have gold glove defense in the outfield and the infield is something too. I know MVP is not a defensive award. I get that, but that has to factor into the decision. Let me ask you this, JP. Is Matt Olson an MVP in any other year than this one with what Acuna Jr., Freeman, and Betts are doing?
Yes, I think he's the elite of the elite. And if you take many other cases, he probably would be an MVP candidate, a strong one. But there are certainly those exceptions. The Shohei versus Vlad race a couple of years ago, the Miguel Cabrera versus Trout race, where it was just two absolute unicorns against each other. But I do believe that you're exactly right. Matt Olson's numbers in any other year look like the winner of the MVP award. I really believe that what he has done for this team, the consistency of his play, offensively, defensively. I remember we had a showcase game in Atlanta, Alanna, earlier on this month, and we were there. They had just come back, the Braves had, from a late night flight, and there was Matt Olson, 4 p.m., out early. There was no BP on the field. There he was with Ron Washington working on his defense. That is what it takes to be a consistent championship player. And so Matt Olson has that ethic in him, Alanna, to where I believe that the everyday play that he provides, he would be an MVP in a great many other seasons.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that Ron Washington was out there with him as well, JP. Okay, looks like Rocco Baldelli and his Twins are going to lock up that AL Central. Who is a postseason player to watch for Minnesota?
So I'll give you two names, Alanna. Let's begin with the man who has a streak. Talking about streaks like J-Rod, well, how about streaks of grand slams? Royce Lewis, back-to-back games with a grand slam hit for the Minnesota Twins. And what a year he's having. Of course, we know his story, the number one overall pick in 2017. He's been slowed by injuries. Last night was career Major League game number 50, and he's already got 10 home runs in his Major League career. He's now playing third base, of course. He has come up as a shortstop, but he's playing third with Carlos Correa over at shortstop for the Minnesota Twins. I'm really excited about Royce Lewis's future. When we talk about the struggles the Twins have had in the postseason years gone by, I don't really think that Royce Lewis is too concerned about what happened in the 0-4 division series against the Yankees. That is ancient history for Royce Lewis and Edouard Julien, and even the next guy that I want to talk about here in Max Kepler, who's had a bit of a resurgence for the Twins this season. I've always loved Max Kepler's game, and when he is delivering the ball gap to gap, hitting doubles, this team, I think, has a chance to be very dangerous in the postseason. Remember, the Twins will be able, as long as they wrap up this division title, to host a wild card round series at Target Field. Might be a little chilly in October in Minnesota, a little home field advantage there for the Minnesota Twins. And here is what Max has done in the month of August. I really believe there is still so much untapped potential, Alanna, for Max Kepler, the native of Berlin, Germany, the son of two elite ballet dancers. What a story he is in so many different ways. So I do love Max's bio. I love his productivity this past month. I think that he's going to be a huge difference maker for the Twins down the stretch.
Maybe that's why his footwork is so good. He comes from a lineage of ballet dancers. 327 average in his last 30 games. All right, switching our focus now to pitching and the Los Angeles Dodgers, something that has kind of been a bugaboo for this team all season long. They have announced that Tony Gonsolin will be having Tommy John surgery. So, JP, they are without him all of next year, likely. And, of course, you don't know what's going to happen with Clayton Kershaw, who is non-committal for next season, and Julio Urias, who is a free agent. Where do they go from here long term?
I think, Alanna, that we're talking about a team that has a lot of pitching decisions to make now just in the coming weeks and also next season as well as they get towards the offseason approach for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They do hope to get Walker Buehler back in the near term, and hopefully Walker pitches well enough and stable enough that he becomes someone that they can rely on as they look towards next year's rotation planning. But you're right. When you look at if you're Dave Roberts, and not that they want to get too far ahead of themselves, but you start planning out who is in our rotation on opening day of 2024. Not a lot of certainty there at all. Of course, we talk as well about the injury to Dustin May this season. A lot of uncertainty now for the Los Angeles Dodgers, broadly speaking. So I do think when they made the Lance Lynn move at the deadline, they did so with the belief that they were going to have to fill in where Gonsolin has been for a long time. And so I think Lance Lynn, who actually gets to start in our showcase game on Thursday at Dodger Stadium, Braves and Dodgers, we can't wait for that game on MLB Network. But I do think for Lance Lynn and his importance to the overall club, it is only underlined by the lack of availability for Gonsolin over the balance of this season.
Well, Braves and Dodgers, we might be looking at a preview of the postseason in the National League. Before I let you go, JP, when I think Milwaukee Brewers, I think pitching. But they have had the longest winning streak in the bigs right now. They've rattled off 9 straight wins. How are they doing it?
Alanna, well, first of all, let's begin with the pitching side of things. And Wade Miley, who is ageless, got the win for them last night in now their 9th straight win, as you document. So it's been that veteran pitching rotation, the return of Brandon Woodruff, who's been healthy now to go along with Burns and Peralta. They've got, I believe, one of the best postseason rotations of any team in Major League Baseball. They've got Devin Williams, who, of course, began his season pitching for manager Mark DeRosa and Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. But I just love the way this lineup is coming together as well. William Contreras, whom they acquired via trade last offseason, he has been tremendous on the offensive side of the ball, and I really think he has added a lot. Sal Frelick, the dynamic rookie talent from Boston College, playing center field, now batting in the middle of their lineup. This youth that they've had, Terang, Monasterio playing third base. Alanna, for so many reasons, Craig Counsell is an elite manager in Major League Baseball. He always seems to get the most out of his teams late in the season. This is a very classic Craig Counsell fourth quarter of the year, if you will, for the graduate of Notre Dame. You think about that. So I think for Craig Counsell to get the very, very most out of his team, he's doing it yet again. The athleticism of the young position players, and then now, of course, the pitching is stabilized. The move for Mark Canha to come in from the New York Mets. Carlos Santana, the consistency he's provided. It seems like he's going to be able to be a high on base guy and draw walks until he's about 50 years old, I believe, for Carlos Santana. So I just like the way you've seen the youth and the experience, Alanna, all coming together for the potentially presumptive NL Central champs in the Milwaukee Brewers.
I love the quarterbacking reference, the touchdown reference, of course, when you're talking about football, that fourth quarter stuff, because they're scoring about a touchdown a game, JP. 7.1 runs per game over this 9-game winning streak. College football is here. Go Michigan and go Colorado. JP Morosi, we appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Alanna.